I was 6th, 7th, 8th grader, I would get books or articles or whatever for my research report, and I would set them on a desk, something. I didn't really know what to do with them, so I would just kind of skim through and find some line and write that down for my source. It'd be completely out of context. Very unethical, I'm sure, but I didn't really know what to do. But now I have just developed some methods of going through the books or articles that I have and gleaning some information or finding out if there's information in the source that I can use. And I want to talk about that today. Okay. Now there are a lot of methods, but one we'll discuss today is basically looking at the first sentence of a paragraph, the first paragraph of a page, and the first page of a chapter to figure out what the whole thing is about, and then basically summarize it, word, or write it down, to figure out if it's valuable to us for the paper we're writing. So I have this book here, Black Looks by Bell Hooks. The title, or the subtitle is Race and Representation. So I immediately know that it's probably going to be about how black people are portrayed in some way. Okay, so I would then read the back to get a basic idea before I begin, but I already did, and I'm sure that that's what it's about. Okay, then let's do what we were going to do here with the introduction first. So first I will read the title of the chapter. The title is Revolutionary Attitude. So seeing the cover and then reading that, what do you think it's about?
About this one here?
Yeah.
Much like what you said.
Revolutionary attitude, what would you say?
I would just say it's revolutionary attitude. Just kind of a new perspective on whatever topic it is about. It's a revolutionary.
Okay. Yeah, probably. So let's figure out what we're revolting against. The first thing is in italics. It's a quote. So I'll read the first line of it. Decolonization continues to be an act of confrontation with the hegemonic system of thought. Okay, that's good. But I'm thinking that it's not going to be, it's going to be a little bit abstract. So I'll probably have to read more of the chapter before I know exactly what this is talking about. So I would skip over that. Okay. Begin reading the first line of early paragraphs. Okay, so let's go to the beginning. We've got meat now. All right. If we compare the relative progress African Americans have made in education and employment to the struggle to gain control over how we are represented, particularly in the mass media, we see that there has been little change in the area of representation. Opening a magazine or a book, okay, I'll stop there and say, all right, magazine or book, that kind of representation and black race, and there's been little change. So I know that this is probably going to be about how blacks are unfairly represented in the media, and it's the same. Not much has changed from whatever it was in the past. Okay, so I go to the next paragraph. Theorizing black experience in the United States is a difficult task. Socialized within white supremacist educational systems and by a racist mass media, many black people are convinced that our lives are not complex and are therefore unworthy of sophisticated critical analysis and reflection. Okay, so then I see how we're misrepresented in the media, that blacks are probably portrayed in her argument as simple, and so black blacks see that representation and aren't able to have complex ideas about what they ought to be, or what they could be, something like that. Okay, so I basically have the idea of what this is going to be about. And if my paper is on black representation in the media, or if it's on racism in the 21st century, then I'll probably have some information here. And I can, it's a good text, so I can find some more information about it. Watch for the butt and read the last line. Okay. Sometimes you'll read the first line of a paragraph and it doesn't really give you any information. So what do you do if that's the case? One thing that I found that works is you look for the but. If it's saying something wishy-washy or something that doesn't seem to match what you've seen already, look for the but or and yet and find out what it means there. And if that doesn't work, then go straight to the end and see if there's a conclusion there. Okay, I have the second chapter of this here. And I want you to do the same thing in 30 seconds. Go through this, the title of the chapter, beginning the first line of the early paragraphs, and then if you can't find information in the first line, look for the but, or look for the last line, and tell me what it's about afterward. That's the last thing. Summarize. So, begin. I'm only going to give you 30 seconds. Okay. All right. So, how many paragraphs were you able to look at the first line of? 2, 3?
Yeah.
3.
Okay. Try with just what you saw to summarize what this chapter is about.
To me, it sounds like from the 3 paragraphs I read, a classroom of black students being asked a question but not really knowing how to answer it because they don't feel fully comfortable explaining themselves. That's what I got.
Okay. Now you've got that, and we already did the introduction, so how would you put those together? Anybody?
I forgot what the first one was about.
About representation in the media. So,
oh, that's right.
so blacks aren't represented, and also they're represented to be simple. So how would that mesh with this?
It seemed to me that a lot of it was that not only white people have a different perception of blacks because of the media, but black people themselves have a perception of themselves. And in here, kind of seemed like he was trying to just change the way they viewed things.
Okay, right. Okay, so Bell Hooks is probably, I mean we don't know for sure, but she's probably making a persuasive essay that blacks ought to view themselves differently. And she's probably talking about how it's difficult because the media has portrayed blacks so far in such a way that it's hard for blacks often to know how to represent themselves. And so you know for sure if you want to use this for your paper or not. Okay, so that's it.